Hey friends, welcome back to the Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Sally Allen. And today we are going to talk about setbacks. And I'm going to read a few things from my book and we're going to talk about them. The first one, it's on page 157. It's preparing for setbacks. The way you handle setbacks will define your leadership more than the way you handle success. I truly believe that because setbacks are hard. They're harder than when you are successful. And the way you come through that actually defines your character. It defines how you handle, and I don't like the word failure, but how you handle challenges and how you get through those challenges. Because some things that we go through in life, that's the word. We have to go through them. We can't go around them. We can't go past them. We have to go through the storm. And every time we learn how to go through that storm, it makes us stronger or it breaks us. It depends on the path we take to go through the storm. And that's why I wrote some strategies in this book to help you go through the storm and come out stronger than you were before and even more resilient. So, understanding setbacks. I'll look down a little bit because I am reading. I want to read some things here for you. Setbacks aren't the villain in your story. They're just a part of the plot twist. Anyone chasing meaningful change will face them. The journey to a stronger mindset isn't a straight line. It's a roller coaster with loops and sharp turns and occasional nausea. You've experienced that. If you expect to experience smooth sailing all the time, you are in for a surprise. So, how do we deal with setbacks? That is the key. I like the term that I've used in this book. It's called laminating. And I want to talk about that today. Laminating and a form of reframing. Laminating is basically looking at life from a perspective as I can take whatever life throw at me and turn it into something positive or something good. And look, I know there are situations where they're very hard. You lose a loved one and you're like, well, Sally, how do I turn that into lemonade? It makes you stronger. Perhaps you've built relationships with people you don't even know who are coming alongside you and comfort you. And obviously, if you're going through something like that, my heart goes out to you because none of this makes sense or meaningful or have meaning to you. But at the end of the day, time heals. And as time passes and you look back, you might see, I got a friendship out of this, although I would have preferred to have my loved one. So I totally understand and I get that. But I want to bring it back to where I'm talking about in the workplace. That when we have setback in the workplace, when we don't get that promotion that we want, when we don't get that raise that we want, when we don't get that title, when we screw up that presentation, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of your life. It's just a moment in your life. So looking back, thinking, what lesson did I learn from that? And one of the lessons that I've learned over the years, and I've made some big mistakes at work, is I came through it and I became a stronger person because it didn't break me. I fessed up, I told the truth, and I moved forward and I continued to prove myself to my boss and the company. The next one is adjusting strategies and looking at your track record. I think it's so important. One of the things we forget to do when we go through really hard things is that we don't look at our track record on all the good we've done. You know, you've posted something on LinkedIn or social media and you're getting these incredible comments. This happens to me too. And then somebody comes in and they are very opposing and they're ugly and they're posting some ugly things. And it's one person and you have 100 lovely comments. What do you focus on? Why do we do that? The brain tends to go negative fast. But look at your track record. So many people love what you had to say. It's the same with work. So many people loved your presentation. Look at the person that said they didn't like it. Always look at the source where these feedbacks are coming from. Take it with a grain of salt. Take the feedback with a grain of salt. And then go adjust your strategy and adjust what you need to do for the next time if you need to, because you might not need to. This person could be a total jerk. They could be having a bad day. You never know what people are going through. So when someone gives you an ugly feedback or when you have a setback, look, sometimes it's always about other people when we have these setbacks, right? Just take it with a grain of salt. Don't let it take you down. Because remember this, how you handle those setbacks, how you handle those challenges, you are teaching your brain how to behave. You're teaching your mindset how to behave. And if you keep going back to the old patterns, which is those old neural pathway, right? Your brain is like this pathway. Think about you're walking down a path. If you like mountain biking, you'll like this a lot. You keep mountain biking down that path over and over again. And eventually, when so many people have done it, you have a nice smooth path to go on your mountain bike, ride through this path. And that's what happens with your brain. Years after years, it create that neural pathway. And it's very comfortable. It doesn't want to go off the path because it's rocky. You might fall down. You're not safe. So your brain tends to bring you back. And you want to tell it, no, I need to go down this path. I need to deal with it. I don't need to go back and sit at these things that I've been doing over and over again. Because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So you only grow and stretch when you step out of your comfort zone, when you think differently. And when you move through the storm, not try to move around the storm or over it and mask those feelings and not take feedback. So I leave you with this today. If this episode sparked something in you, please share it with someone. And you know what I'd like to say? If you change your mindset, you can change your life. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.